Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Obi Sports Talk Show. I'm your host, Obi, and if you're a first-time viewer, I welcome you in here and welcome. You know, we're here to talk sports. We mostly talk Ohio sports. We do have breaking down some NBA, college basketball games and other kind of things here, you know, whatnot. But hold on a second. Don't pull on that, buddy. Come on. We mostly talked about them. We did break down the MLB divisions, what we think might happen in there. I did do that, but today we're going to mostly talk about football. And today we're going to talk about real quick here. We're talking about the Ohio State spring game. We're going to break it down about how I thought it went, and so yeah, we're going to talk about that and kind of things where I kind of thought after watching it, whatever, and whatnot. So if you're returner, I'm always glad to have you guys back here. Feel free to leave comments and things that you like and don't like about it. Maybe you have a different analysis than what I do, and that's okay. You know, you're entitled to have a different opinion, that kind of thing. So let's just go ahead and break it down. Ohio State spring game, quarterback battle. You know, we have to try to figure out who our quarterback is. After losing Justin Fields and C.J. Stroud, Kyle McCord, and Miller, the three guys that seem to be the three front runners going throughout the spring. And I think C.J. Stroud is the one that's going to take the lead. He from the start, you know, he was 16 or 22 for 185 yards and 2 touchdowns. The freshman Kyle McCord, he was comfortable in the pocket. He also threw 2 touchdown passes, 12 of 17 for 184 yards. And Jack Miller, the freshman, was inconsistent at times, especially the first half, but ended with 17 completions on 30 attempts for 120 yards. He threw the interception. Once he got his team down in the red zone, he threw an interception. You know, so Ryan Day still got to try to figure out who he thinks fits this offense best. You know, they're kind of scheming the things they want to run as far as the offense goes, and who can merge it as the leader of this team. On offense, because the quarterback is the one that's going to have to lead this team. And that's why I think it's going to be C.J. Stroud. I just feel like, you know, he had a little more chemistry would look like with the team. The team kind of responded a little bit more. So I believe it's C.J. Stroud and Kyle McCord would be the second string, and then Jack Miller, number 3. You know, they take multiple plays and multiple probably a little too Falk to get going back. They kind of look at them and they kind of continue to watch them break them down. They have a little bit of practices here and there, but I think C.J. Stroud is the front runner. Another guy that really want to talk about is this Jack Sawyer that came in out of Pickerington North, guy that's going to fill the via defensive end. And, you know, we've had great defensive ends in the past. We've had the Bosa brothers, Chase Young. But Jack Sawyer is a name to watch this year. He is really living up to his hype early on here. Looks like in the early season. He got in there and had several sacks. Probably could have had a couple more if they would have actually counted him as sacks, but they didn't count him as sacks. So probably even maybe a strip in there, but they kind of didn't really have like live stuff like that with the fumbles and stuff like that. So he looked really, really good. So he'll be a name to kind of watch. And obviously they're deep on defensive end as it is anyways. Zach Harrison, he will probably be back. You know, he said, you know, they all think that he's going to be really good as well. Great guy. It seems like he's got speed, and you know, and that's what you want on the edge. Come up on the edge. You want so many guys that can speed and get in that backfield and get to the quarterback and stops from running plays. But he's going to be pretty darn good. The wide receivers, the depth is unreal. We already have Garrett Wilson, and we already have Chris Olave. We already have returning sophomore Jackson Smith-Njigba, and we saw what he could do last year. We have a junior in Jameson Williams, who was a key part of the offense last year. We've got flashes of Justin Fleming a little bit last year, but he didn't play in the spring game, and so that kind of maybe he's took a step back this year. But he still gets some practice time, and they did kind of held him out. But 2 other guys to kind of watch take over on this team at the wide receiver position. Marvin Harrison Jr., son of Pro Football Hall of Famer Marvin Harrison Sr., Emeka Ugaba. They both had 7 catches in the spring game and made some really nice catches. Marvin Harrison had a touchdown caught a touchdown pass. So whoever the quarterback is, he's going to have weapons to galore at the wide receiver position. And just a matter of finding a guy the ball. These guys all got speed. They all got great hands. They're going to be able to spread it out at times out there, and they're going to perform. The offensive line did a really good job. Protected the quarterback through. Like I said, Kuba had 7 catches, 123. Harrison had 7 catches for 49 yards and a touchdown. Smith had 5 catches for 50 yards, a touchdown. Wilson had 4 catches, 85 yards. Olave had 3 catches, 57, and 1 touchdown. So you may see a little bit better. We may have a 100 guy every game. Maybe 1 or 2 may crack the 100 yards plateau. But once they get going, maybe it'll offensive explosion for these quarterbacks, whoever the quarterback is. And the line will continue to protect. And that's where the running game is going to play. I see a lot of the good, solid running game because they kind of didn't have live tackling, so it's kind of hard to see for that. But you had Henderson, who's a running back that comes in here. They say he's kind of like a J.K. Dobbins, Saquon Barkley. You already had Mayan Williams, Steel Chambers, Marcus Crawley, Master Teague. So this running back and Evan Pryor. There's some really deep running backs at the position here, and so it'd be interesting to see which one of those which kind of guys take the lead on that, and who gets playing time, who doesn't, and when they, maybe a mock roll, who gets a chance to play in case somebody guy who goes down in front of him goes down. So that's going to be really interesting to see. There's some really good potential there at the running back position, and I feel like that was something that was kind of missing at times last year. But I mean, Trey Sermon and Mayan Williams and Master Teague showed flashes last year. You get these other guys that could come in that got some speed and that could be burned by people. It's going to be interesting to see. On the defense side of the ball, it's really one of those things where besides Jack Sawyer, the things we're looking at was kind of the secondary. You had this linebacking core, and a lot of linebackers look pretty good. On right now, they look like they were flying all over the field, getting chances to even kind of stop the run a little bit sooner because the way they're blowing the whistle dead, so they kind of got the little tap, grab and tap. So they look like they got potential, got good speed. We'll get more into that about breaking down some of these linebackers later on in the season once we get going for fall camp. Excuse me. Over here, buddy. But defensive backs, Marcus McCall goes to defensive back. Watts is a guy to watch 7 on banks who didn't play. And we already know the defensive line is going to be pretty solid. But we really got to see what we get for the linebackers and the defensive backs once they go live tackling. So maybe that first couple games or so, we'll be able to tell what we're kind of going to expect the defense for this year. But is the kicking game and the way that we took advantage of having some big playmakers over the last few years at that position. Drew Crispin we're going to miss. Blake Hobby we're going to miss because those guys just seem like they were automatic. So it'll be interesting to see how the kicking game can get going and hopefully can improve. And I could on special teams because we didn't really get to see a whole lot of that. But on paper right now, this team looks good. And like I said, we'll break it down even further as we get wrapping into this fall season later this fall. So stay tuned for the preview of that coming up. So if you've got a different idea of how you thought the spring game broke down or how you saw it, what you saw that I didn't see, let me know. And let's have some discussion about this. Some comments. You can always shoot me a message on anywhere on my devices if you have them, and just let me know what you think. All right, guys. I know this went kind of longer than what I thought, and maybe rambled on a little bit, but I wanted to hit home with this and kind of talk about the spring game here a little bit. And but for now, we're going to get on out of here. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and go Buckeyes. As always, thanks for listening, and make sure you share, like, and share with your friends and family. All right, this is Dobie out. Have a great one.